Getting drunk was awesome, and I genuinely miss a lot about it. I drank several times a week, every single week, for the better part of the last decade, and I always thought that I was going to be the life of the party. I loved it. I had my favorite whiskey, my favorite tequila, I was even making my own beer at one point, and all of that changed September 22nd, 2024. For some reason that I can't fully explain, I just stopped and I wasn't alone, my wife actually stopped with me. Around that same time, I had started to take my health very seriously, and I was getting sick and tired of always feeling like I was in recovery mode, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, I did not realize this at the time, but that decision of quitting alcohol was like a huge step in my fitness journey. Pretty quickly, I started documenting it on YouTube Shorts. I believe the first video was at like the 48-hour mark, and it was super hard because I quit smoking weed and taking shrooms at the same time. I went from every vice to no vice overnight, and I wasn't really sure how that was going to change me. I thought that it was going to make me anxious or tired or boring or something like that, but really what it did eventually was it cleared space. Space to actually feel things, to move, to show up for myself, and without realizing it, that space is the very thing that allowed me to start rebuilding my body and my life. For the first several months, the only thing keeping me dialed in was the content itself. I thought, oh man, if I don't, keep to this, I won't get the views on YouTube and I'll let a lot of people down. Well, like with all my other previous attempts, this one did fail. I stopped posting about it, couldn't keep it consistent, and it wound up being the single best thing that I could have done for myself on this journey. I was no longer doing it for everyone here. I was doing it for me, and it was in that moment that I realized the true beauty of not drinking alcohol. Am I the life of the party? No. Do I ever feel that wild, uncontrollable energy that a lot of people crave? No, absolutely not. Instead, for the first time, I feel like I'm in control. I feel like I'm in the driver's seat of my own life. Thing is, it takes a while to get there. It takes like 4 or 5 months to start feeling that way. But once you get there, you realize you've never felt this good in your entire life. You thought you used to feel good, but all the booze was doing was masking what made you feel bad, and with that out of the way, now you can confront and overcome all of those negatives that we all have in our lives. Once coming to terms with that, you tend to feel good like the majority of the time. I'd say, at least for me, 90% of the time I feel great, and then there's this 10% where you feel like you need a substance to take the edge off the day. And in those 10% moments, I think about that feeling. You spent all day Sunday drinking. It's now 3 a.m. and you can't fall back to sleep. Your skin feels heavy. Your heart's beating faster than it should. You're sweating. Oh, and by the way, you have work today. Thinking about those moments pretty much eliminates that 10%, and I hope that I never have to experience that again. Now, do I judge people that drink? Absolutely not. It is fun. I can't even count how many amazing times I had at concerts, bars, breweries, the people I met, the stories we shared. It honestly can lead to some amazing experiences. And if you can manage that lifestyle and still accomplish your goals and be a fulfilled person, I'm your biggest fan from the beginning. That is amazing. Instead, every single day off, I drank a 6-pack of beer, 2 tall boys, 3 or 4 shots of tequila, and then smoked weed before going to sleep. I'd get agitated if I could not follow that routine. I would cancel plans with people just so I could follow this routine, and that lifestyle, long-term, for me, just was not sustainable. So here I am, 220 days without alcohol, and yeah, I feel better mentally, but physically, it feels like I'm giving my body a fighting chance. My energy is better, my workouts are harder. I feel good, and my body is actually responding to what I give it now because I'm not constantly taking away from it. Now, do I smoke a little weed from time to time? Yes. If I go to a concert, I'm hanging out with friends, I'll enjoy it in the moment. But gone are the days of smoking every single night just to get through a normal night. It's the most responsible use of substance abuse you can ask for, and I'm pretty proud of that. Now, I know it's impossible for anyone to say this, but I would not be shocked if I never drink alcohol again in my entire life. At least as of right now, I don't need it. And even if I do start drinking again at some point, I'm glad I at least gave myself the opportunity to feel this way at least once in my life. Most people don't. If you've ever said to yourself, am I drinking too much or do I have a problem? Chances are you need to take a step back and reevaluate. Even if you're not a full-blown daily habitual alcoholic, that does not mean you're not relying on it in some capacity. What does the normal, sober, everyday real you look like if you let it out for 4 to 6 months? What could you accomplish? Remember, if you don't like it, you can always go back to drinking completely judgment-free. Give it a shot. You may be shocked at just how much you can love being you. Stay happy, stay healthy. Have a great day.